Richard. Thank you everyone for having me here. It is an honor to be here at the University of Wisconsin-Madison in the DeJoke Residence Hall. And before I get started, I just want to thank the folks who are responsible for me being here, which included a collaborative effort across the way in the veterinary medicine building, a mural that is underway. So I want to thank, the Iverson Bell Midwest Committee for bringing me here, and giving me this opportunity to speak with you today and share my experiences. Dean Markel, I'm sorry, Markel, Richard Barajas, and the students of the University of Wisconsin School of Veterinary Medicine for years, several years ago, just planting the seed and wanting to see a mural that expressed more of the, the community, a more diverse community. And so we're working on that now as we speak, and there'll be opportunity to participate in that after the conference today or later. And so I want to begin by, I'm going to share a few things I've been involved in, and just kind of start with, as I think about what the title of this conference means, being a change agent in your community, it brings to mind a lot of the experiences that I've had participating with different groups, people from all different backgrounds, and that sharing of perspectives. And so, and one of the things that I guess I want to share what moved me when I got here to this campus and started the mural project so a couple months ago. But I had the opportunity to take a tour of the clinic, a mini tour, and I just saw, it just struck me the level of care that goes on and all the resources that are poured into the machines, the equipment, the people, the hours, the time that goes into caring for those animals. And that's what struck me, is the caring behind all that. So behind the systems, I saw the caring, and it's invisible, but I could feel it. And so I'm going to share some projects that I've been involved in, and I've thought about, well, how is it that we've created these things that involve so many different perspectives, and there, wasn't a lot of conflict. How does it work? And how can we make a better world that works for everybody, all beings, humans and animals alike, when we have so many different perspectives as individuals? So that's been something I've been thinking about, and it's been a cause of wonder for me. So the first thing I want to do is, share my screen, and just bear with me here. Share sound. Okay, here we are. All right. So it starts with a blank wall. So this is a wall in my hometown of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This was in 2016, and it still is facing an empty lot. And we're going to start by looking at a trailer that shows, so it's a couple-minute long video that shows a project I did with this neighborhood, which is Sherman Park, Milwaukee. It's a big neighborhood geographically. It's got a couple different zip codes in it. And up to this point, I've done murals with groups that had different communities, schools that knew each other to a degree or shared something in common, whether culturally, group sharing, certain cultural backgrounds. In this case, it was my first time working with a community that would be strangers that would be asked to participate. And the community had experienced a traumatic event that year. So that was layered on top of it. And it was a bigger geographic region than I had worked with up to that point. So I was afraid people might just want to throw paint at the wall or just not be interested and not want to participate because of what they've been through. And so I was afraid I couldn't do it. And so we're gonna watch the trailer, it's a couple of minutes. And let's see here. Here we go. I had a lot of ups and downs in this project. There were a lot of hurdles. How can we come together when we have different opinions? I wasn't sure that I could carry it through. Murals are a way for me to tell a large story across a scene that everybody can relate to. The challenge here for me was that I wasn't sure how I was gonna blend everyone's ideas into this story or into, in a way that we all could appreciate.
It explains everything about what's going on in Milwaukee.
It says
Some guy holding up on his family, holding his family up. Auntie, mother, brother, church, preaching. You see everything. But the main thing that caught my eye is the man holding up the household.
Never seen nothing like this. And I've been in Milwaukee for 25 years.
You work for Brown? I want Brown.
Good choice.
All right, I got it right now.
And the community, Sherman Park, and the park, and the kids in the park particularly were greatly affected by the uprising. And so I felt it was really important that we be a part of this and that our kids are also a part of it.
What I recognize as an official is that I'm not the only piece of the city's outreach to its community. We can't provide the level of services they need beyond law enforcement.
I feel you on that.
Like one little drop of color can do a big impact on a little neighborhood.
Without community engagement, it falls flat. So to have that community engagement really pulls the project together and gives it that life and vitality that we want to bring. Okay. And so the full film is it's a short film. It's about 22 minutes. It's on my website if you wanted to watch it. It's screened at the 2018 Beloit International Film Festival. And this is a picture of the mural. And in this trailer, I don't know if you noticed a woman holding up a picture that she drew. So these are what some of the drawings people drew in the workshops that we talked about. So if you think you can draw any of those, you'd be right on the same page with everybody else. So in order to participate, people don't have to be artists. And so if you can see the sun up there in the corner, and then there's a memorial tree that are common in neighborhoods where people have died due to gun violence and different things. And then with the teddy bears and the ribbons, and then the watering can, watering a tree, and then the symbol for justice. So what I do as an artist is take these symbols that they drew, and in this particular case, I want to go back to see if you can see those in the mural, where they'll show up. And so what I want to do is kind of point out one image in particular that I think speaks to the heart of what we're here for, the heart of this conference. And that is the centerpiece, which shows a police officer, a resident, and a person who I call the builder. And those are three aspects that kind of help to make any community sort of healthy. And they're working together in harmony. Builder could mean building programs. It could mean creativity, any type of building, and then, or housing as well. And they're balancing power is what's happening. So I reinterpreted that justice symbol to be a balance of power in our relationships. And so there's relating showing here how they're relating together in harmony. And so that's that's sort of, when we look at the whole mural, we see the challenges along the bottom represented by the vines, and people are kind of struggling to get loose of those. And as you move towards the middle, you see a transformation happening. And in the middle would be the future, what we're moving towards, what we want. And how do we get there? So the transformation shows how do we get there? So now we're gonna look at a film. This is a full film. It's a full short film. It's 24 minutes. And this is kind of this drops us right into the heart of really what my presentation is, what I'm here to share with you. And it's best done, I found, through film. So you can actually experience a project for yourself. And this next film is about a project I did in Rockford, Illinois. And I was asked to do something similar to what I did in Milwaukee to this mural. And this film had shown, the one we're looking at now, it had shown in Beloit, and there was an audience member who saw it and wanted to connect me with somebody in Rockford. Rockford, Illinois is about an hour and a half west of Chicago. I had never been there before. And there was a pastor who knew an audience member who saw the film, and she wanted to do a mural. She had wanted to do a mural on the side of the gymnasium for some years. And so when she saw the film, she asked me to come there and work with the whole city. And that was a big step for me. I didn't really think that would translate well because I'm an outsider. She wanted everybody from all across the city to participate. For this project, this was the biggest wall up to that point I had worked with, and then working with a whole neighborhood of people. But going to Rockford, going to a whole different city is a big jump. And then on top of that, we had to raise a lot of money for that to happen. So I'm sharing this film to kind of show you some of the challenges that came with doing that effort, that for me as an artist went through, and also kind of shows you the journey the community went through, and some of the challenges that they share there. And so I guess without giving you too much, we'll just drop right into it, okay? All right, so, and then after this, I wanna open it up for any comments or feedback about this film. Just kind of wanna get a sense of where you guys are at after this, all right? Okay, so I'm gonna, let's see here. From day one, I didn't know how I was gonna get this done, but I was in it for the experience. It was a journey.
Able to bring everyone to the table, from the most powerful to the least powerful, from people that have homes and people who are walking around without homes, to be able to bring together everyone. All of Rockford, wherever it is that you live, we love you, we think your voice matters, and we want you to participate in the community conversation.
One of the major challenges was having to do this Kickstarter. I had never raised money before, and the thought of asking people for money was really scary. I didn't believe they would pay for something like this. When I started talking to people and driving all around town, and just seeing people's interest, once I started telling them about the project and how they could be a part of it, seeing their enthusiasm, and I felt a little bit like, I started to feel maybe this could work.
We will be able to get people from all across Rockford to come to this location to participate in these dreaming sessions where people get to imagine a future that is different than the present. And then Tia takes these sketches, these ideas, and makes this beautiful art that we all get to participate in. I'm looking forward to it.
I am working for you. You're the community. I'm here in service for you. And I want you to hold me to that. There's areas that feel more isolated. There's areas that feel pretty great. And to me, that's okay. To me, that represents the life, the life in the city. So my work is, I want to break down those walls of isolation.
I think murals are important because, well, for a lot of reasons. This specifically because it makes people own the neighborhood and feel like the neighborhood is cared about.
What you have here is on the bottom, you have the heavier stuff, the sort of the gritty stuff, the concrete stuff, the life here on the bottom. And when your eye moves up, what do you notice about how you feel?
It's brighter.
It gets brighter. That's psychological. So that's what I'm gonna do with the art. And so we start with the challenge and we have to move forward. So whatever's here will be the transition. So what would be a challenge we'd like to start with? Just pop it out there. We're gonna go bam, bam, bam.
Misunderstanding.
Lack of unity.
Lack of unity. Go ahead.
Inequity.
Okay.
The river is a divide. It's a physical
The river divides.
It cuts the town right to half.
Complacency. What would be one thing that's needed to help increase a person's sense of that their willingness to try?
More hope. Faith in each other.
We gotta see the transition.
We need to see the transition and how we can initiate that transition. Right, like right now, you guys are at an opportunity to say how you want the next phase to happen.
I love the river because it's right there.
Yeah. So there's
It's literally where the two sides are pretty much all the rock meets.
maybe hands holding up.
We're doing challenges.
And there's some street performers and people are, there's saxophone players and musicians and there's festivals going.
So the happy hands are holding up the road, so people are walking across to get by.
We're coming together where we started with a small part and we expanded and got bigger and we're all coming together and celebrating. That's what it looks like me. I want some too.
Now it's like a big deal. What I did was, so then the future, this is the future, close up. I love it. We start with what the challenges are, symbolically represented by the clouds and the darkness. But the river itself, in my mind, is a symbol of the city as a whole and the psyche of the city, reaching for something better.
Tia, I love it. I love all of the water. I love the way the water grounds it, because I think you're right. The river grounds us here.
The river, to me, is the divine.
Yeah.
The baptism, as what's the water.
That's
water.
Jordan River.
Yeah, it just stands for so many things, and I agree. I love the way it reaches out.
Water is so cool. The wings are popping out to me as well. I know we had talked beforehand about not using any religious imagery.
So this is like an archetype of the future. It's the beyond the now. It's bigger. It communicates its bigger sense, and you don't see it right away.
So that's why the wings are that large.
That's why they're that large, and it could be a stork. I have this big angel that came to me in a vision for this art piece, and it was the center image. I drew the angel with 3 heads to show it was bowing in my vision to the future of Rockford that's coming, but it didn't come across well. And I thought it was really powerful. I don't want to do a bird. I just offered that out of desperation, so they could have something. I thought it was dumb.
I think that the theology of angels is problematic.
I mean, who turns down an angel?
And you've got it in here twice, so that would be the one thing that I would push on.
I was shocked that they didn't accept the angel. Now what am I gonna do? We get to the community paint days, and there's this empty gym. When I saw all those panels laid out, I'm wondering, where's everybody? How is this gonna get done? I needed help from the community to paint the background. People weren't coming out. So I reached out around town to some local businesses, some schools, pleading with them to take some of the panels. I even offered to bring them the panels. At that moment, I was afraid I couldn't get it done.
I won't go too close to the green.
So what I have to be doing is mixing. I'll be mixing like 3 different blues together to get water depth and some purple in there. Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you. So there's going to be like 3 or 4 layers when this is all done.
So don't worry so much about it.
I found out they thought what they were painting would be going up on the wall. It would be their art. And when they found out I'd be going over and doing some touch-ups, because they saw one of the panels that I did, and they put it up in front of everybody, in front of the whole congregation one Sunday. As soon as I saw what it would look like after I had painted on the panels, then they wanted to be involved. They wanted to get their hands in it and paint. And more started coming out, and they just kept coming and coming.
I like that one centered it. It just wakes everything up.
And they kept coming back. Seeing all those people, that really gets me. It was like a dream come true. Everything was getting done so fast, I could hardly keep up with them. And I started getting calls back from some of the places who wanted me to bring panels to them.
This is no matter what Tia does to it, however she pretties it up, I'm still gonna walk by and know this is my grass, this is the lawn that I helped put.
Last week when I'd come from work, I'd be really tired, and as soon as I started painting, and the same thing happened today, I didn't feel tired, and I felt energized.
They came just to be a part of it. It didn't have to look like their art. That's the funny thing. To me, that's what community art is about. It's just about the journey, it's about the experience, and discovering something new.
I like how it's like drawing something for like the future.
This is something that I've never done before. It's the first time thing as far as painting a mural. But like, I feel like it's very therapeutic.
If I ever would become an art teacher, then I would have a lot of experience out of what I'm doing right here. it's teaching me a lot. How to paint, how to make sure that there's no white spaces, how to stroke your brush.
Yeah, now here, may I hold your hand here and show you how I want people to hold the brush? I saw you maybe pushing the brush. The hairs don't really like it when you push it, so we're just gonna always pull.
I'm so sorry.
It just makes me feel, I don't know, feel good, I'll say. Yeah, it just brings out the good in me.
The meaning of it. The meaning of it is the greatest thing. It's like going from past, present to future, bringing the community together is my dream come true. It's knowing that we're doing something for years to come.
It's all gonna be part of the grass and the sky.
I think that's water and the sky, making friends.
I have a farmer's background, and so really what really speaks to me is the flowers and the colors and the nature that's involved, and then just all the symbolism of the birds and collectively, you know, the people, all kinds of people, right? Because we want to embrace this idea that we're all part of one human family.
It's been so fun. I feel like I've just learned like so much about art, but also just with the whole community coming in, it's been so cool getting to interact with people and learn in that way.
There aren't that many opportunities for people to participate as part of something bigger. That's why I want to give everyone who wants to be a part of this a chance.
Nice meeting you.
Good to meet you too. Take care. He's just having fun, good Delbert.
Oh, okay.
She painted a lot. She painted all that.
I did, and they got covered up.
It's about completing something. And when you sit down with a canvas and there's nothing on it, and you actually form a picture, or even if it's not even a picture, just the different colors and how they blend together, it's a completing a thought. That in itself is just art. It's a beautiful thing. It's making something beautiful, being part of it, and being able to share it with others. It's nothing like it.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I think it might be here. Because that's a bowl.
Sharing.
Maybe they're rebuilding the house, which
like a
We're finally coming to the end of an era where people must come together without any other differences.
You know, this is a case where you let citizens have that input, and you said, give me what your thoughts are. Just so many pieces in here that when one looks, can actually, someone can say, that's a part of me. And so I think it's very powerful.
It's a movement. Being able to see the mural, you know, you can like kind of like give yourself a portrait of the change that you want. You know, everybody coming together. You know, things actually happening. Especially different variant type of people that's actually putting their hands in it. You know, and I love the hands. You know, with the bridges. You know, it's about us lifting each other up and actually carrying, you know, each each other and ourselves. Yeah, it's more than visual. You know, it's art. We are art. You know, everyone has their place in it. So, oh yeah. Yep, we're getting goosebumps. Mm-hmm.
I see a wonderland. That's what I see. Right over there.
Yeah.
All the people join together.
This is the first time I have been able to come down to see the mural, and I don't even have words to describe how I'm feeling about it.
This one over here, with the lady swimming, that's what I like. That's a sign of survival, help. She seems like she's gasping or reaching for help.
You see everything that you want to see in any community, let alone Rockford. All with so many things that mean so much to us. If it's a theater or an airplane, all being tied into this to show us that, yeah, there are different aspects that we all love, but when we work together, they do create something pretty beautiful.
The color cans are bring it out more, and you know what I mean. You know, I just like what I see. You know.
When I see this mural, I think of all the love and understanding that Tia has brought out in our community. She had 5 to 6 meetings with people in the community, and out of that came the inspiration for this mural. The mural shows love, understanding, and a place that we all need to go.
It just flows so evenly, and every time I drive by here, I take a look at it. It's an eye catcher for sure, and it shows unity with different nationalities coming together, and that gives me hope.
The fact that we're showing people talking to each other, working together, learning from each other.
And the children, you have a child here, you know. If there's anybody that we should be changing Rockford for, having hope for in this city, it should be our children, it should be the youth. And I know they're watching, they're a part of the change.
Well, what I see in the mural is love. And I see love from all the way from the one side all the way to the other.
Well, you know what? I love children, love them. And you know, and to see the children there with the love, the young, well, I guess maybe it's the father, the young man reading to them, and their smiles, and you see the comfort, you see the support, you know, I mean the hope, and I, you know, I just love it. And I see here, hope in this hotness, we have a chance. We're gonna go ahead and reach it, and we all stand together and do the things that we need to do. You know, we're stronger together as opposed to trying to do it individually.
What I really like about this, and that I've had several people in the neighborhood talk to me about, is they come through and they say, like the group that did the heart with the people, you know, they remember drawing that on the sketch pad, and they're so excited to see it up there. It's just little bits and pieces that come together.
It looks nice, you know. Shows what paradise can possibly be when all colors of people can be together. Also, it shows happiness and everybody is treating each other the same. Equality. You know, a little taste of heaven, a little imagination. I like that.
I think one of the coolest parts about this is that it just changes the tenor of these blocks. Like, there are hard things happening right around here, but this mural just projects joy for blocks around.
color flight that had arms and legs and hands and more than 200 heads and hearts. We can see that collective spirit in the stork, delivering Rockford's future in the form of a baby. I want to thank everyone who had a part in bringing this lasting symbol of our common good to life. I present to you Rockford Taking Flight.
I love this. This is beautiful. This bird here, I mean, the colors on it are just gorgeous. Maybe it's because I can see some of the wings back on the panels there, but it's striking.
Along the way, I started to notice that I had to change as the journey changed. And the art changed because of that, and it became better. The art actually got better because of the journey and because of those conversations. So now when I look at it, I see something way better than it was even in my original. I love the stork now. It's actually one of my favorite things. One of the most beautiful things about this process was those changes. They were hard at the time, but when I look back on it now and just see the beauty that came out of that, it surprises me. That's what the beauty of this is to me.
What we hoped and dreamed came true is that we would be able to pull together a project, obviously at your leading, that dreamed of a Rockford future that's different than the present. And here it is. It's right here in full, beautiful color, representing all of the diversity of our city and all of our hopes and dreams. It's on the wall. And so if only we could be what this wall tells us to do.
Community is a sense of trust and an assumption of goodwill in each other that we'll each fulfill our roles.
It takes a village, it really does. To birth something this big, it takes a village.
The beauty of this project is it's not just something to strive for in the future. We're already doing it. With all the difficulties that community art is, this is why I do it. Thank you. Thank you guys. So screen sharing, let me make sure this is. So I would like to just ask how you feel after watching that film, and you can just raise your hand and or just share. Just want to hear from you guys.
I'm familiar with the city of Rockford, so it's very nice to see like a different side of Rockford. Rockford is very stigmatized, like there's crime and this and that. So like this is very, like for me personally, it's very nice to see this side of Rockford. Because Rockford does have a lot to offer. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
So I appreciate seeing this
this kind of whole picture, because when you came initially and you started talking to us about this, you shared a little bit of this, and kind of since we've stepped through this process, and now I'm like, oh, I'm feeling it. You know, we just really need to see that others have gone through this and recognizing that we've gone through this really cool experience as well. So thank you. It's been transformative thing for our school, I think. So I'm excited.
Thank you. Yeah.
So sorry, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm falling over here.
I'm fully inspired by it, and I see the different communities that you brought together, and I see that, you know, we need to do a lot of this too, and we get the chance to do it. So I feel very honored that you're here to do this.
Absolutely, and I feel emotional too every time I watch this film. So, thank you.
Tia, thank you very, very much. But I love, because I think artists are special people. I love that you were able to make everyone an artist and that they felt like an artist, because it's a gift that many of us don't have. And so you were able to give people that gift. I think is really cool. But it looks like you also got your angel wings in there though. At the end of the water on the right side.
Yeah, it's funny you picked that up because so I wasn't thinking about that at the time, but yeah, it was a very difficult decision for me to sacrifice this idea I had of the angel and use a different symbol that they felt represented their community more, which I actually love that story. And so yeah, it's funny that because I guess it's in there, but I actually wasn't really thinking about trying to stick it in there. And it's funny, nobody really ever said anything about those angel wings at the end. So thank you. Yes. Anyone else? Comments or anything surprise you or that you noticed in the film?
Stop sound.
So I guess it's not surprising, but I think one of the takeaways is the importance of listening, right? And I just really appreciated how thoughtful you were in facilitating the project and really listening and making everyone feel really included, really a part of it, that this was really their project. And I think that when we think about DEI, and sort of we'll continue talking about it all weekend, the importance of listening to communities and recognizing that this is their education that we're actually providing, right? And that we're trying to create those opportunities for inclusion, but really it is their path that we have to help them create and make a reality. And I think that for me is a big takeaway from this project, and it's just kudos to you.
Thank you. And I can add to that, and I just want to check in with how we're doing on time. We got some time, okay? Because there's a few thoughts I want to add to this, and it's kind of along the lines of from my perspective, every human, well, this is a scientific fact, I think, that every human mind is created by nature. And from my perspective, everyone's an artist. And then it's offering that chance for people to participate as part of something bigger than themselves, and then go from creating nothing to something through a step-by-step process. That is creativity at work. Creativity is a step-by-step process. It's not magic, but it kind of is, in the same way science can be magic, depending on how you look at it. But there are unexpected results. And so, kind of for me, the lesson here was that there are no guarantees. I stepped into something that, raising $30,000 on Kickstarter, something I had never done before, going to a different city, coming into that obstacle of, oh, they don't like this idea that I thought was fabulous. I put my heart and soul into it, So that was, the choice to go with what they wanted. For me, looking back on it and seeing people's reactions to it, that's how I measure whether a project's successful or not, or what a successful outcome looks like. It's how they feel about it. And we're on the journey together. So this is not just like them versus me. I found that I am part of this equally as they are. And the magic of it was like, at the end of it, what came out of it was way better than what I could have imagined. So that's kind of like the bonus. So and that that's kind of to your point about creating a path forward. There's those unknowns, but then when we work together, that's the beauty of it, is how we collaborate and how we, there was mutual sharing, mutual respect, and sharing those perspectives during the workshops. Not everyone agrees on the same things, but there's an equal space for sharing. And that, I think, created an opportunity for people to feel like they had a place there and that their voice would be heard, and it could show up somewhere in the mural. And so I guess, kind of going back to when I first started doing these projects, it surprises me people's willingness to participate in that. Because I mentioned with the other project, I was afraid they wouldn't come and they wouldn't be interested. With this one, we ran into the roadblock where people weren't showing up on paint days. And it turned out they were afraid of messing it up. I thought they just weren't interested. They were afraid that it wouldn't look good if they did it. So, I mean, imagine that. And that kind of like what touches me is that in our society, I find through doing these projects that people want to be involved. They want opportunities to participate in their community and to help and to make it better. And that's a common human need. We all want something to make better. We all have the same needs as human beings. We all want to feel valued. We all want to feel cared about, be heard, participate as part of something bigger than ourselves, and contribute. And so we're all parts connected to a bigger whole. There we go. We all, as parts, have something of equal value to contribute to the larger whole to make it better. And I see you doing that here with this conference. So the art for me is a way to do that. And I guess so there's a risk there. Getting together in a group full of strangers, or trying to reach out to a community, trying to create spaces, trying to do anything it is we want to do and dream and hope. There's a risk. And the glue, or maybe what I'm finding, this sort of magnet that, at least from my experience anyway, is this seeing the potential in a situation and doing it because we care. And that's what moves me. That's what moves me. People care, and they're coming because they care. They want to participate because they care. And it's not just me. I see the potential in these situations. I try and I go and I take these risks. We do that because we care. And just stepping back for a second, when I went back and I was talking about visiting the clinic and how on the surface, you see all these machines in the veterinary hospital. These are things you see every day, you get used to them. You get used to what you do in a day-to-day life. But think of all the energy it went to make that happen and think of all those moving parts, and everything has to work in coordination. That's care. That's love doing that. I mean, then think of that, for our society. and what we can create. So these projects for me give me hope, because when people have something in common they can relate to, in this case art, it helps everybody get on the same page and realize in a way that we're all in the same boat. There's a willingness to work together. And so when we zoom out from the last couple of years with the pandemic and movement for racial equity, I get the sense, from my perspective, that there is greater awareness of our commonalities as human beings and the value of life. Everybody and everything has a need to be healthy. Everyone wants to feel heard, to be accepted, to feel safe. And everybody wants to feel cared about. So that caring, that and the way we show care varies. And I'm just gonna pause for a moment, and back up here and just point to the middle of this picture where her skirt is and how, let me zoom in. Okay, so if we look at her skirt, we see many different cultures interacting in harmony in one place, and they're sharing power equally, and how beautiful that is. And just that beauty of, better, we're better together idea, and how much richer life can be when we bring everybody together, when everyone's together, there's beauty in that. And so that's why I wanted to kind of show this picture and go to, and so then the art, it also creates a space for interaction. I think I heard, oh yeah, that was talked about in the film, spaces where we get to interact together. How do I go back? It can level the playing field. It creates more appreciation. Trying to go to the next one and it's not going. Okay. Yeah. So go to the next slide. Sorry about that, guys. I was on a roll. So I was talking about, I was talking about caring and how the way we show it varies and what that looks like. And for example, different animals need different specific kinds of care, but it's care all the same for the well-being of life, for another being, whether animal, human, plant, or mineral. And so this mural kind of shows all the kingdoms of nature interacting together in harmony. And it's called The Wonder of Life. So this just brings us back to the value of life. And from what I've noticed, just being here with you guys and participating during the design workshops with the folks in the mural, at the heart of this profession is caring. And I like to use art as an avenue to express that. And I hope you guys could listen to that, just watching these pictures. So that's about the overall kind of what I wanted to share. I can get into specifics if you want to know, certain things about certain pictures I showed, but I was really more using the art as a background. So that's pretty much it for my presentation. Any questions? Thank you.
Make sure you pass it off.
I just wanted to comment kind of Lisa's initial comment about the ability for you to facilitate and the ability for you, obviously, for sure, but that all of these people could come together and felt safe enough with you and felt like they could be heard, because this could be something where, like you say, one person could have a really strong opinion and kind of drive everything. It felt like the way you set this up with the community, at least how I feel in the 20 minutes of the video, that people felt like they were all heard and a part of it. Do you get a sense sometimes, and I just picture, because I know with the angel, and you had like the one woman who was like, no angel, but was it just that one person, or was it more of, you could sense as it grew and as it changed, that that's the way the community wanted to go, or was it just the one person that was more vocal?
That's a good question. She's actually the pastor, and I don't know if I explained this well enough in the beginning, but she asked me to do the project, and it was her church, but she didn't want it to be about the church or religious in nature. She wanted it to be about the community. So she had a very strong say in that, and she supported the whole project. So it was a question for me. That's kind of the, we'll encounter in our efforts, spaces where we got to decide, is this make or break? I felt that if it was I can push what I want as an artist and kind of push for that at the risk of the project, at the risk of people falling off and people not really feeling connected to it. So I had to make a choice, and I had never been in that position before. So I did make a choice, and I feel that I like the outcome of it. And you can see in people's reactions, they're all seeing something different in it. And that's the beauty of it. It's not about my idea and how I see things. And so no matter what we're endeavoring, no matter what your efforts are, what you dream, what you hope, I'm not an expert, but I do know that whatever we want to do, we can do it despite our differences when we work together for the common good. Thank you.
He's laughing at me. Thank you, Tia. My question, so this mural is going to be inside, which makes me just a little sad that we're not going to get to see it outside in all its beauty and glory, like all the time by everyone. So I say, Dean Markell, let's, in the new building, we put this mural somewhere outside.
Yeah, thank you. No, that would be great. That would be great. But it's fun. It's been fun having you guys stop in. It really is. So I appreciate you. Appreciate your time. Thank you. Feel free to stop me if you see me and ask questions. And good luck with everything, with your conference and with the rest of your journey. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Small token. Yeah, small token of our appreciation. Let me stop sharing and we'll, all right. Okay, cool. So just a few things. So it's kind of been embedded in this conversation, right? But unfortunately, as part of the summit, we couldn't do those community sessions because we wanted a finished product. So you could all paint as part of the summit. So Tia graciously held some workshops for community members in the SVM, so students, faculty, staff, a lot of different kind of all the identities in the School of Veterinary Medicine. And so those happened about a month ago, I think. And then Tia had the mock-up. And so you'll get an email at the end of the day kind of prepping us for tomorrow. I've included the scan of that mock-up so you can kind of see it. But we're going to do a few things kind of next. We're going to have some choices over the next hour, 2 hours. So just some housekeeping things for tomorrow. And thank you again to Tia. It's been a great process. So I appreciate you. It's the weekend, right? It's Saturday, it's Sunday. Feel free if you're comfortable to come in casual dress because we're building community. And so I'll probably be a little bit more dressed up just because I'm on this thing for a lot of it. But feel free to wear casual dress Saturday, Sunday. If you can't make it, a few people said, oh, can I get the link? I can't make it tomorrow or Sunday. again, that email at the end of the day that kind of recaps the day also has the links for tomorrow. So you should get that shortly. Two other things. So as part of your registration packet as well, you get a book. But you get one or the other. You don't get both, sorry. But these will be at the reception later in a little bit. So you can pick which one you want. We're also, as a Midwest kind of community and committee, later in the fall, we're gonna also have book groups around these to continue the discussion. So Iverson Bell is just not these 3 days, it's every day, just like we think about diversity, equity, inclusion every day. So to continue the conversation, make sure you pick that up. If you're virtual, those will be mailed to you starting next week after the conference, and I have a little bit more time to do that. So you also get a book if you participated virtually. And a thing I forgot to mention, so throughout the next couple days, WisCares, one of our community clinics, part of our project from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, there's a few different staff members and clinicians from there, so they have a table during the breaks to kind of chat and talk with and ask questions. So that'll be there tomorrow as well as Sunday as well. Any questions so far? Yeah, so it's micro intervention strategies, what you can do to disarm and dismantle individual and systemic racism and bias. And it has a similar author. They both have a similar author. And Race Talk and the Conspiracy of Silence. So those will be available. I think I see Shannon, do you have a question?
Hi, Richard. Yes. For us online, do we get to choose which book, or it'll be a surprise when we get into mail?
It'll be a surprise. Unfortunately, it's one of those, it's okay, here's what we're sending out. But for some of you, like the Michigan State cohort, Iowa State cohort, the people who are here are going to take that with them, and so they'll deliver those to you. They've graciously helped me with that aspect of it. Other questions? All right, so for the rest of the day, just to give you a snapshot, so a few options. So it's kind of a break time, but we're all going to head over. The reception is at the School of Veterinary Medicine. So if you're not familiar with campus, if you parked in the parking structure, it's on the other side of that parking structure. And a lot of us will all be headed that way. So that's where the reception is going to be. But along with the reception, there's also going to be tours you can take of the teaching hospital if you want to see the teaching hospital, if you're not familiar with it, and painting. So our mural panels are in room 2255 of the school. And so if you want to grab a brush and paint, you can paint as well. There is scans of the full image there as well, if you kind of want to see it before the email goes out. But yeah, thank you. Great first day. Thank you very much. On to the more social part.